Hey all, welcome to Monday Night Inking once again. I'm going to be working on the redo of this sketch card that you all probably remember from earlier. I'm just going to hang out for a bit till people start showing up. But it is a beautiful day here. Did not expect the lovely weather. Have my windows open and everything. It's delightful. Not wearing 3 South Dakota layers, as I have been for the past couple of months. Here everybody comes. Hey guys. Awesome to see you guys. All right, there's a whole bunch of you. Thank you, thank you. This is, for those not familiar, the Angel of Death character design from Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy 2, which is one of my favorite character designs in a movie. So I was very excited to get this as a sketch card commission so that I could then redo it on my own time. Oh, my mom's here. Black Gorbachev says, woot, creepy art. Thank you, dude. Always a good compliment. Yeah, really, really fun character design. Awesome prosthetics. I saw the full costume and prosthetics for this design at the traveling art show. What was it called? At Home with Monsters, the Del Toro exhibit, when it was in, I believe, in Minneapolis. I lived in Minneapolis at the time. And man, it was cool. That was the most zoned into an art exhibit I think I've ever been. And I've been to some art exhibits that I really enjoyed, but this one was just like the sound just dropped away and I was just staring at these pieces. He has in his collection several of the Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein originals, which I didn't know, and it really took me off guard because we studied those so hard in school. I love those pages. And it was such a special moment getting to see those in person, like up close to them. Let's see, am I missing any comments? Hang on. Nope, just everybody being awesome. Hope everybody had a good day, and you all are seeing some pleasant weather wherever you are. Regardless of hemisphere, I guess. That's a very broad generalization, but I can wish pleasant weather on you, I think. That's good. This needs to be a little bit heavier afterwards, but let's see. We'll work through that. Today I started learning 3D modeling in Google SketchUp so I can design some interiors for more accurate reference in my work. Let's see. Black Gorbachev says, say what you will about the Hellboy reboot with David Harbour. I haven't seen it because I didn't want it to break my heart, just as a side note. If nothing else, the designs for those creatures were hella amazing as well. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I agree. And a lot of them, I mean, I'm really speaking on the side of my mouth here because, I haven't seen it. But I know a lot of them were straight from the comics. A lot of those monsters and stuff were just BPRD creatures, so they had some really good stuff to work with for that movie. That movie had everything going for it, just like the same thing always happens is the story falls flat. You got to put the same amount of work into story. It's not news. It's disappointing. Wow, I got some real internet. Hi from Argentina and hi from France. Y'all are all over the place. Well, thank you for stopping in. That's so cool. Firehawk is here. Hello, Firehawk. Let's see. This part is on black, so I don't need to worry that much about the line weight. Let me just get that in. Yeah, this is one of those Doug Jones characters. You can always tell from his hand mannerisms. So it was very important to me to get the hand gestures correct, because that's such a signature of his and his work. How is the weather in France and Argentina? Since we're having like fascinating conversations about weather. Oops. Let's pull that in just a little bit more. Firehawk says, glad you made it on today. Me too. I don't like skipping, but man, sometimes there's just too much going on. And full disclosure, with my upcoming Kickstarter project I've been working on lately, sometimes there's just too many spoilers in what I'm working on. And I don't want to just give it all away. Sometimes I get stuck with nothing to work on. Which is why I worked ahead to get this guy ready for you. A little bit of a smudge there. Let's see. There we are. People still jumping in. Welcome, welcome everybody. Another really fun thing about this design that is very Mignola is that it's a stony texture. You get this very rough sort of parchment-y quality in the skin and the stoniness in sort of the halo head here. So there's a lot of fun textures. And that's not even counting all the fabric and the wings. So big old texture heavy piece. Let's see, I'm gonna keep pulling this one through. Gotta keep this line chipped and chunky for the rough edge of the stone there. It's gonna break up a little bit as it comes to face the light source, because you can tell by the shadows the light is like generally in this direction. So you gotta respect that. I did my nails like half an hour ago just for you guys. I hope you all are satisfied. Chunky texture there. Turns back away from the light. And it's going to be on black in here anyway, so that doesn't matter that much. I don't need to halo that. I think the only thing I'm going to halo is the hand. If I still had the sketch card, I'd show it to you. Let's see. What should I do? What should I do? Sorry, I keep drifting out of frame. Let me tilt this up just a bit. Reed Troutman says, show the light some respect. Absolutely. Honestly, half the time when you see bad art, or just like art that doesn't, I don't want to say bad art necessarily, but like art that doesn't accomplish its goals, doesn't really do what it set out to do, it's often a misunderstanding of light or perspective, or both. Or just sort of falls flat. Let's see. Desiccated noses have always been tricky for me. First world problems, right? Let's get this shape here. Because the skeletal nostril is not really nostril shaped. So if you're going to try to do the whole sort of zombie thing with like the skin pulled tight and parchmenty, you're going to start exposing nostril shapes that aren't necessarily visually what you think of as a nose, if that makes sense. Sometimes being completely literal, in fact, often in comics, is not your friend. It doesn't necessarily do or benefit the story or the image the way you want it to. It may say exactly what you want, but if what you want is completely visual and not necessarily communicating the elements of the story you need it to, then it's counterproductive. Let's see if I missed anyone. Nope. There's a lot of you guys tonight. Hope you all aren't too bored. having to hop on a slow, quiet live stream. All right, so I had to figure out how to do like cracked lips without communicating slackness, because you want that sense of the face pulling, which wouldn't leave a lot of room for vertical wrinkles, but I'm going to get a little bit in here as it turns away, as the lips turn away from the light. At this angle, you'd probably see a little bit of something, so we'll see if that works. It seems to be working. Oops, overshot there. Yeah, and I can't, again, because the lips are pulled taut, you don't want to overdo the bottom lip, because that would make it feel like it's standing out more. Like if I put a really heavy line here, it would look full and sort of pouted outwards. And obviously we don't want to do that with the mouth tugged tight like this. So I got to clean that up in a minute there, but I will get to it. Let's see. Utah Chris says, hi, what brush pen are you using? So this is my new favorite thing, the Zebra double-sided brush pen. You can get it on Amazon or Jet Pens, the many Amazons among us. It's my favorite. I recommend it highly. Let's see, there was another one down here. He is asking a lot of black ink in his gums. Yep, and it's coming right up. Gotta do the teeth too. Teeth are really fun. You can get a really toothy grin. A little bit of texture there, that parchmenty face again. All right, let's get these teethies. Ooh, they're small. Okay, let's see. Almost got distracted. Stay on the teeth. I burped, excuse me. Here we go. I love the feather details, Clara. Cool and creepy work. Thank you. That's my favorite combination of things. Cool and creepy. Get these teeth looking a little bit gross too when we get there. All right, got the top row. Let's go upside down for these. Depending on the kind of gums you're used to seeing, which is a super odd way to start a sentence, skeletal teeth can be much longer than the teeth we're used to looking at necessarily. BTX Artist 61 says, great nightmare fuel. You are very welcome. It is my pleasure. All right. Let me get this filled in here. Here comes the black. Yeah, there's a couple funny conventions in comics when it comes to the application of black. Like how in comics, gums tend to be black just because it would, in most styles, it would be an overcomplication to show all that weird extra flesh and like have to color it. Because it's like, gums are like very bright colored. I think in color particularly, that would come off as odd. So I think that's a lot of where that convention came from. And how like blood is often black if it's just in a, if it's in a black and white comic, you just draw the blood black sort of thing. Yeah, I'm gonna try to auction this piece this month. Get me some extra grocery money. I don't know if this is a popular enough subject to successfully auction this piece, but I auctioned the Baby Yoda last month, which is obviously the most popular IP, so hey, why not? I don't know about this one, but a lot of you really, really liked it, so I'm hopeful. I think it carries its own weight with the design. I mean, I'm just writing on the back of the design at this point. This is such a good design. Del Toro has the best monster people. No question. Fernico? Sorry about your username there. Just says, there you go. Yep, it is as satisfying as it looks, too. Make a big change in the piece with just a little bit of work here. We call this spotting the blacks. Yes, look at it go. We got 45 says, I think this will be a bestseller. What, the piece itself? The movie was pretty successful in its day. I hope it sells. Time shall tell. And if not, I'll just continue making it into a mini print. It's one of those things. I love this character design so much. I don't think I would have had the nerve to attempt it on my own until I got the commission to do it as a sketch card. Okay, let's see. What kind of tooth stuff do I want to do? Do I want to render down or up? I'm going to say down. Can always back it up. The black gums in comics always remind me of Captain Spaulding, and I love it. That's a good one. Let's see. Agreed. Del Toro's monsters are always a pleasure to see. Absolutely. I love them so much. I guess that's working. This second one here on the side is not really working, but as long as you render it on the shadow side, you're good. Very tiny amount is more than sufficient there. I gotta fix that one, but that should be good. Start working on this while those dry. More of the... This is sort of where the skin, the parchmenty tugging skin is going to transition into stone, so this is a tricky spot here. be a little bit patchy, and I'll probably come back in with white and spot some negative whites in there to help break up that shape. Let's see. There we go. It's coming together. All right, I want to fix that one tooth there. Close this. Might not be dry enough yet. I don't even know. That's actually seems to be okay on its own. I was expecting to have to go back over it, but all right, this isn't ready yet. That's still wet. Let's put these in. Fill in the sniffers, which is a term I've definitely used for noses before. Why I'm being weird here. All right, what we got? Man, people just keep jumping in. Thank you, everybody. All right, what do we got? Let's see. I'm gonna do this side. Shadow on this side here. There we go, can work on that. Joey's here. Amin Jafari's here. Oh, Joey says I'm late. What's this for? This is a redo of that Angel of Death sketch card I did recently. I'm redoing it to auction it and also to do a mini print out of it, one of my postcard size prints. Those came too far, but I can fix that. Let's see. I had an idea for how I was going to render this edge here. Let's see if I can pull it off. Oh, I'm going to smudge. See, that's the only thing about this pen is it does dry a little bit slower than conventional brush, so you will do a little bit of smudging as I try to surreptitiously clean my hand on my pants. Don't look at me. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. Sort of fade that in. Sort of like a Tomo does with tones. He nests them and builds them off each other. There, that's pretty cool. I think that works. See, I made a mess again. Well, fortunately, most of that is going to be black anyway. All right, I can come back and shorten some of that and put some little bit. Go, that helps a little bit. And always like words, and I can always take them back out or put them back in. Let's see. Simplify that. The light's going to be hitting this in such a way you probably won't see most of that side. So simplify that a little bit. Joey bought me a badge. Thank you. First one this stream. You can be late anytime you want. All right, what am I gonna do here? I'm gonna finish working on this crack, but I'm not gonna fill it in yet, and then I'll go to this hand. And I'm telling you that so that you know when I completely break with that plan, as my regular listeners or know I want to do. Just let it kind of be sketchy. There we are. Along nicely. This crack, honestly, is so specific on the character. If you look at the screenshots from the movie, it's such a specific design that I couldn't really just... This is not the sort of thing you can half-ass. Like, you have to get the specific crack just right. And it took a surprising amount of work on the first pass of this. Since this is a redo, I didn't really have to think about it the second time, but first time it was a lot of extra work. I was quite surprised. I guess I wasn't that surprised. Organic randomization, like, you know, cracks and rocks and placement of grass, animal textures, things like that, can be very difficult to get convincingly just because they are pretty much randomized. Like, our brains are used to such significant, obvious organization. Whew. Survived that. Let's see. Rundikos? I can't say your name, I'm sorry. Says hello. Hello to you too. Thank you for being here. All right. I'm just going to pull this all the way through and then take it out so the line quality is not affected. It's one of the beautiful things about how easy it actually is to edit ink. Once you get your head around that, you realize there's nothing scary about it. In just a little bit more. Okay. And it's going to be black around the edges there, so the outer quality of that line does not really work. GL Shade 1 just says, really? And I don't know what you're asking about. I'm sorry. Let's see. Pull this one through. Ooh. The line quality on this one matters a lot more because it's visible on both sides. Okay. Whew. Survived that one. I need to rule these out. I'm not going to do that right now because that's probably boring to watch, but okay. Once that dries, I can pull that back out. Okay, so GL Shade 1 says editing ink. Yes, it's actually very... Man, I made such a mess. As long as it's dry and waterproof, it's very easy to go back over with white ink or Posca markers, which you're going to see me do here in a minute. These guys, white paint markers, are really, really good for editing. Is there a place I can... Here, let me demonstrate. Find a completely black area here. So there's a completely black area. And I'm going to give it a minute to dry. And it's... And there you go. Easy as pie. If you have the right tool, at least. Yeah, but I mean, I remember in art school how intimidated we all were by inking at first. And our professors kept saying, like, it's really, ink is not permanent. You grow up thinking of ink as permanent, like that's the function ink performs. But it's really not. There's no reason it needs to be. You don't have to think of it like that. You can always pull it out and go again. just as long as you're working waterproof. All right, again, this is going to be on black, so it doesn't really matter. Hold on, I'm missing a bunch of things. Okay. TBX Artist 61 says, do you listen to music when you work? When I'm inking like this, sometimes I'll listen to music, because this is more about following the outline I've laid out for myself, like following the steps I planned when I was penciling. So you don't have to be you do have to be present, but it's not the same kind of hard thinking and like actually making something, bringing something into existence that penciling is. So I will often listen to things while I'm inking, but it's usually more like podcast or something. I'm an embarrassingly unmusical plebeian. Let's see. Clearwater Shogu says, not boring, go for it. Thank you. That's actually very kind of you to say. Xanabon is very excited. He says, ooh, this looks cool. Thank you. GL Shade 1 says, I've had no luck with the white ink markers. You might be using the wrong kind of ink going over it. You might be using the wrong kind of white. I don't know. It might just not be dry. I can't diagnose from afar, but I assure you there is a version of it that works. Sometimes it just takes some work to find it. Let's see, I'm missing something. Xanabon says, I was very rash with ink in the beginning classes, and I'm much more careful now. Yeah, I mean, that's and that's the whole point of classes, right? Is to get past that point where you're rash with it and start doing it with care. Andrew J. Brown in the house. Hey. Xanabon is talking to Andrew now. I think I've said this before, but one of my favorite things in a live stream is when the watchers start talking to each other. That's how I know I facilitated a fun environment, which is a really good feeling. So thank you guys. All right, this hand. Like I said earlier, these Doug Jones hands, I had to get them right for my own peace of mind. This side is going to be heavier as it turns away from the light. There we go. Howdy, Xanabon. You're a popular guy today. All right, pull this. Oh, I also wanted to thank everybody who's been listening to the podcasts so far. Blacklist Underground and PG-13 with Clara and Zach. They've been a real fun venture for us. We're all enjoying them. We're figuring out how to work together as a team. It's been a really good time. It's coming along nicely. All right, the thumb. There's a shadow here. Thumb, just a little bit of thumb. Go. Doesn't need to be much. It just needs to. Piece just needs to not be just floating there randomly. Joey says, still haven't had a chance to listen. Well, no worries. They'll be around for a while. I did simplify the design on the hand prosthetics here just because it's kind of intense. If you look at the character actually close up, like there's a lot going on with the hands, just as sort of this bony dessicatedness, but also like very sort of gothically decorous, like, like a fancy church or something. So I went with a simpler treatment of it, which I think is appropriate in this context. Oh, I'm missing a question. Let's see. It's okay, I've got some catching up to do. Oh, Joey says, but I promise I will. No worries, no worries. In your own time. Liam says, when I've been working with inks, there's times I've made a mistake, but sometimes it can improve the drawing and become a happy accident. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of art, that's what it is. And even if that mistake doesn't work for that particular drawing in that particular place, you remember what it does, and then you can actually use it on purpose at some point. That's the beauty of a craft like this, is you can actually get to that point where you learn new things from what is otherwise technically a mistake. There we go. It's all crustacean-y. I love it. Go. BTX artist says Bob Ross philosophy. Absolutely. Happy little trees. With painting especially, I think that's very, very true. Happy accidents often work, well, not that I really know firsthand, but it's my understanding that happy accidents like that often can have a very positive effect in painting. Line art can be a little trickier, but like I said, you can still learn really useful things from it. All right, somebody else said something. Wolverine's recent design came from an inking mistake. Really? That's really interesting. I like that. Andrew says, I might be incapable of inking my own panels. Dude, everyone is at some point. And everyone is sometimes, regardless of their development. I have plenty of days where it's like, I can't draw anything. Those are just the days that you have sometimes. Just don't beat yourself up, and remember that you get it back tomorrow. You get a fresh start. And you'll have bad drawing days. You'll have whole bad drawing seasons where you just, for days or weeks at a time, you're just like, did I ever know how to draw? And it just will all feel so distant. But you get it back. That's an important thing to understand, is that those things do happen. And it's not a reason to despair. It's normal. It's your brain working as it should. It's your brain is updating. It's got to update sometimes. Oh, greetings from Panama. Maybe our most international live stream yet. Hello, everybody, and thank you. Yeah, hands are the next thing I'm really studying. I finally sort of figured out the structure of the head, and now I need to start like really applying my style to it. But the next big thing is going to be the hands. And hands, if you didn't know, are complicated things. Hello from London. I got everyone coming out of the woodwork saying where they're from. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. That's really fun. Let's see. Fill this one down over here. Then I'll fill those in. Yeah, I got my one regular sketch card guy, Andy, here on Instagram, who's ordered... Actually, I have two sketch card guys. I have two sketch card guys that consistently order sketch cards, which I am not complaining about. But yeah, this one was originally his commission. He also had me do Angel of Death from the Seventh Seal, so it was keeping it on theme that time. Xanabon says, yeah, you're not alone, Andrew. Yeah, for sure. That's a thing. We all feel that way. This is so hard to understand when there's like an artist you like or look up to, because I have to deal with this with people I like and look up to, just knowing they feel this way. But like, I hate most of my work, and that's just part of the package. That just comes with the territory. So understand that there's not something wrong with you if you don't love your work, or you feel like you go through phases where you can't get it right, because everyone does. We all do that. Absolutely all do that. I'm gonna get this shine. I'm gonna get this sheen. I think, well, hold on. I drew this in here just manually to hold the space, but I think what I'm going to do, it's messed up. I'm gonna leave the circle, but I'm gonna let the shines be white ink, probably brushed in there afterwards. So in other words, you guys are gonna miss it, sorry, but it'll be there afterwards. Go back over that when it's not such a mess. Let's see. Okay, I was gonna fill this in here. Trade A Cartoon says, this is amazing. Thank you. That is a very generous term. I can't take credit for an awesome character design that I'm just redrawing here. Yeah, if I still had the cards, I would show you guys. They were fun, but obviously I shipped them to the client already. There we are. Put this one in, and I'm going to fill in some of this space here between the face and the hand, just to sort of get my head around it. Just to make sure I get the weight looking right. Mikey Clint says, still creating though, cool shiz. And Trey Day Cartoon says, every artist hates their work at some point. Absolutely. I would say at many points, at an embarrassing number of points. Sometimes even at most points. And ironically, here's the thing. Here's the inside scoop. Here's like the full confession. If you are practicing the type of diligence and uphill learning you need to be practicing to continue to grow as an artist, to continue to improve and change and update, what that means is your brain is always going to be ahead of your skill set. You're always going to be envisioning being able to do things that are 2 steps ahead, at least, of what your hand and your brain are able to do, which is very good because that keeps you moving forward. It's the carrot in front of the horse, as it were. But you need to be aware and emotionally prepared for the fact that that means you will always be dissatisfied with your work. As it continues to get noticeably better, you will continue to be a step ahead of it, not liking it, because in your mind, it's childish. So it's an unforgiving headspace that you have to voluntarily occupy. That part of it is definitely not fun, but you can learn to live with it. You can learn to outthink it and know that the fact that I'm feeling bad about my work today probably means I want it to be better than I could have even envisioned it being before. So that's the realness of it. It can be rough, but you learn. You figure it out with time. Okay, so we got some of that. I do around this side a little bit. And I wanted to thank all my new followers, by the way, who helped me break 20,000 followers this past week. It's already up to 20.8, so that's insane. So if any of you are brand new followers here, big shout out and big thanks. Love you guys. Olga. Olga. Let me see. Oh, wait, I just got distracted by something. Okay, hold on. First of all, Trade Day Cartoon says, what type of pen is that? Or this one? This is a zebra. I don't know that there's a couple different sizes of them. Most of this is in Japanese, so I just do them by appearance, honestly. But if you get on Jet Pens and look up zebra pens, you get all kinds. Like here's a different size, for example. So there's some good stuff there. Olga says the gap. I heard someone call it a space between what you like and what you can actually do. Absolutely, and you got to maintain the gap. That's the thing. As painful as it is, you maintain the gap. You don't want to get too comfortable with what you can do. So that's why good artists, actual diligent artists, we tend to hate our work. Shouldn't have said we. That was very complimentary to myself, wasn't it? Whatever. Let's see. What else am I going to do on here? Probably going to wrap this up soon. But what else should I do? Not willing to tackle that fabric yet. Might start on this foreground hand. It's a big, juicy hand. Should I even use this tool? Yeah, because we got some small lines here. So we'll just go with this. You see how heavy this line weight gets here. You just almost have to treat it as a shape. It gets so thick because the hand is in the extreme foreground compared to the rest of the body. Liam says I'm doing some drawings as well right now. Wonderful. Yeah, this hand is going to get haloed. The only bad planning I did in this piece is how close the thumb is to the chin. And that's a little rough for haloing, but I can taper the halo out. It worked on the card. Sometimes things don't work at different sizes. But we'll figure it out regardless. It's coming along. That might not work, but I can always come back over it. Again, some things don't always translate into a larger size so easily. Let's see. Probably not going to finish this whole hand before I wrap up this stream, but I will finish this finger here. coming along. Okay. Whew. So I think, sorry to those of you that just showed up, it's coming up on an hour, and I still got stuff to do today. Let me fill this in one more time. Prove to you that it can be properly obscured. There we go. Still got stuff to do this evening, so here, let me hang this up. So here's what I got so far. Did all that with you guys, so that was cool. Thank you everybody for stopping in, especially for if you bought a badge. And I will see you all next Monday.